August 29th, the feast day of the beheading of St. John the Baptist. All the angels and saints, please pray for us. I wanted to ask the question, where are the Catholic working moms? Where are they? What are you doing? And what is your story? Because that is what I have been interested in learning about and what I've been curious to know, and more especially the Catholic working moms who have to work outside of the home, as I am one of you. And the main reason I wanted to start this channel was because I couldn't find them online. And to answer my question about where they are, it becomes very plain and obvious that it's likely that we're very busy. We're busy taking care of our families. We're busy trying to raise our families, our children in the faith. And we're also adding the extra work of being outside of the home and working outside of the home and being under the authority of an employer in some cases. And that is what I was curious about. I wanted to know how other Catholic moms who worked outside of the home, who were not working for themselves, particularly were not working for themselves, but were working for others, how they all did it. Because a lot of the times I realize that I'm struggling and I can't find people who are also going through the same. And it feels very isolating, like very lonely. And as much as I love the content that we see online for Catholic moms, it's very hard to relate when they're not in this very specific way of life that we have, especially for moms who have to work outside of the home. So I just wanted to say that this channel is a place that we could come together. That I wanted this to be a safe place for our stories to be heard, to make you all feel that we are not alone, that there are others who are walking in the same path as you. And though it may feel isolating, though it's very difficult to be able to juggle home and work and balance, even taking care of ourselves on top of that we are here. Catholic working moms are here. We are around. Although we may not always be present on the internet because of all of our obligations, we are here. And I don't want us to feel diminished, because that is how I felt when I started going to Tridentine Latin Mass and starting to learn more about the traditional Catholic circles, because there is a big push for the mom being at home with the children and staying at home, and that is her vocation. But from my experiences, when I started diving into the internet and learning and going down the rabbit hole of that and learning more about it, I started to get a lot of mixed feelings because I grew up in a family, and also among my aunts as well as my mom, where everyone was a working mom. So to start to feel like that it wasn't the norm felt a little bit shocking to me, like a culture shock. But I guess what would help to know is the background of my family. My family comes from the Philippines, which is a third world country. And a lot of times people have to work to be able to be off the street. And not only just the men, but also the women. So that was how life was in the Philippines for my mom and her sisters. But my mom ended up moving to the United States and worked very hard as a nurse. But I ended up becoming a single working mom of 3 children. And that was all I knew growing up. All I knew was a mom who was working very hard, who loved so much her 3 children that God had given her. Even if the youngest was an oops baby, she would joke about it and be like, or I would joke about it and be like, oh, so my youngest brother is the oops baby. And she'd be like, "Oi, don't say that. It doesn't matter. He is my child. God gave him to me and I will love him." And when when I recall my mom saying those things and like just knowing and seeing her struggle and work so hard to take care of the family, even if she had to work night shifts or had to take extra overtime. We knew she was working hard for us, for the family, to take care of us. Because I knew, I ended up following in her footsteps and getting a job and a career to be able to provide for my family. And particularly because she drove the idea home that she left the Philippines to work and give my brothers and I a very good life, so that we didn't have to live the life that she had, where she lived in poverty. Her parents were poor and they didn't make a lot of money. Her mom didn't work, and she and her 6 siblings struggled because of that. My mom did not want us to have that life. So I grew up seeing my mom as a mom who worked so hard, who loved her children so much, and did everything she could to provide for the family, even though she was like a single working mom. When I started hearing and learning more about the role of motherhood in Catholicism and falling into the rabbit hole of traditional Catholicism, because I was so in love with the Latin Mass at the time, it was shocking to me and made me feel very isolated and made me feel really bad. And I didn't want to feel that way. I didn't like feeling that way, because it made it seem like, oh, is being a working mom not right? Is it not okay? And I love my mom so much. She wasn't perfect, but she loved us very deeply. And to see her work so hard and struggle so hard and do everything she could for the family, for that opinion on the internet to make it feel like her work was not the right way, really hurts. Really hurts. I'll be very, very honest about that. So I did look up some teaching from church teaching. Unfortunately, I don't have it with me on hand, but I will at least just like post the response from Magisterium AI and all of the references that it gives about the role of Catholic working mom and the church's views on it, because it doesn't have anything negative about it. It's very supportive and very, very kind about the role of the mother. The dignity of the mother and her work outside of the home is just as important. So that was very encouraging. And that's where I ended up having to step away a little bit from social media. It can be very, very opinionated. To come back to the point, where are the Catholic working moms? Even if we're not on the internet, even though we are very busy and cannot devote any time to it all the time, or in most cases cannot devote all the time to it because we're so busy caring and loving for our families as well as working, that we are still here. We exist, and that what we are doing and the life that we are living is still God-given. And I think the important thing that we drive home, especially just knowing from how parents are in general, we're always just doing the best that we can with what we have. So I want to encourage you that I am a friend. I'm here with you on this journey of carrying this. And it is a blessing to be able to work, to have a job, to be employed in this time where artificial intelligence is taking away a lot of jobs, where unemployment is still pretty high. It is a blessing to be able to work outside of the home. But it is also a cross, because we cannot spend all of the time that we have. We have to be very smart and wise about the time and how we spend it, so that we can fulfill our duties as wife and mother. So I am going to be continuing to work hard at that, and also to share my story. But I would also love to hear your story too, and also love to discuss the topics that you're interested in hearing about. So feel free to reach out, leave a comment or send me an email, or or support on my support website, where you can just download resources that hopefully will help you draw closer to the faith. But I wanted to say, to where the Catholic moms are, we're here, you're safe here, and just know I trust that you are doing the best that you can. I do thank you for spending the time with me, and I hope that we can have more time together like this. God bless you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.